Hey, I'm Brienne with TwinFlameUnionWithin.com, and I wanted to share some things with you guys today. Last night I was doing some journaling, and I really like to write things down, especially if I'm trying to process things. Like, I find it very healing to just grab a pen and paper and just start writing everything down that I'm thinking or feeling. And every single time I do this, I always come out with this awareness, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it was really cool and you may resonate with it. So if you've been watching my videos, you know a little bit, I've shared a little bit about my journey and, bits and pieces here and there, but, I just always remember my entire life, I've always externally searched for things to make me happy or to fill like this emptiness that I had inside of me that I used to always feel. And I would buy things and it would temporarily make me happy, but it always faded away, and then I was on to the next thing and the next thing. It was always I had to get something new, or I had to go buy clothes, or just it would jump from one thing to another. And then when I started getting involved in relationships, I would take that person and it's like I was throwing all of my expectations onto them. Like, okay, well, you're going to make me happy now. Like, you are going to be my source of happiness. And not that I was thinking that, but that was a pattern. Like, it's just what I was doing, because even since I was a little girl, I knew that there was something that didn't feel right. There was something inside of me that I wanted to fill up, and I didn't know how to fill it up. So I guess subconsciously I would just, reach for anything outside of me to try to fill that spot. But, as I've started my spiritual journey, when I awakened to the twin flame journey and I went through the dark night of the soul and all that other stuff, and my connection with God started to, to deepen the more that I cleared my blocks. And I finally, the more that I do this, the more that I'm realizing that all along that spot within me that I was trying to fill, it was really what I was trying to fill it with was God, but I didn't know where to find that. I didn't even know what I was looking for. I was completely oblivious to it. I mean, I always believed in God. I grew up Baptist, Southern Baptist, and I would go to church on Sundays, and I believed in God, but I had no clue that not only is God outside of you, which I thought, he was up in the sky. I didn't even think he was down here in, I guess, what you call the 3D plane. I just thought he was a man in the sky. And so this was all new to me when I finally realized, through my spiritual teachers, Jeff and Shalia, and through the mirror exercise, which is the healing tool that we use to heal our upsets in the separation consciousness. But so as I've done this, and I continue to clear the blocks out within my heart, I'm realizing, that void that I've always tried to fill is I've been seeking God within me, but I didn't know that God was within me. I had no clue. And so and how this relates to the twin flame journey, I always have a lot of questions, and I always I figure like the answers are normally revealed to me, in some way, like through writing, or God will just deliver a message in some way, or a thought will come into my mind, and I just know that it's, it's from God. But as I was writing, a lot of times on the twin flame journey, it feels like there's one twin that seems, to desire the other twin, and then it appears that you have one twin doing the spiritual work, and all of this is an illusion, but the outside appearance seems that way. And and then you find that almost every single time it seems like one twin, ignores or blocks or appears to be walking, away from the other, twin. And so when I was writing everything out last night, what I realized was that all along, because I've had this desire for God within me, but I didn't know it, I was numbed out to it. My entire life, what I've desired is God, and it's not that I'm falling in love with God. It's that I'm waking up to the truth that I've always been in love with God, right? And because God is always there in your core, in your heart, waiting for you to connect with Him intimately. We each have, we're all one, we're all connected, and we're all God's children. We're all one child within God, but yet we each have our own unique expressions, and we share that with our twin flame because you and your twin are one. It's kind of like the analogy of going back to the sun. Like, God is the sun, the source, the core, which is where we're all one, and each one of us with our twin, we're the rays off of the sun. We're extensions of love. We're extensions of God. So at all of our cores, what we're truly seeking is God. And our heart's desires, like everything you're looking for outside of yourself, and I'm starting to find this to be true in every single area of my life. I mean, everything is I'm seeking God in everything. Anything that I do, I find that it's meaningless, or it was meaningless, because before I was trying to do it without God. Now that I've invited God into my life, and now the littlest things that I can do have so much meaning because I'm doing it with God. And it's beautiful. So yeah, like the basis of the twin, I have a point that I'm getting to, so just stick with me. So like I've said before in my previous video too, is that the foundation of harmonious union with your twin flame is based or built on a foundation of love with God. And naturally, of course, we desire our twin flames, and they desire that as well, but this is what I'm getting to right now. So, as I was writing this out last night, what I realized was that as I'm unblocking my heart to realize the truth of that I've always been in love with God, and I was just completely blocked to that truth and that knowing, the more that I do this, and because your twin flame is your mirror, because my heart was blocked to the truth, your twin flame's heart is blocked to the truth as well. And what I mean by that is that they're completely in love with you, but they don't see it because your heart's blocked to God, so their heart is blocked to their desires for you. And so do you see how the mirror is? So naturally, as you're clearing out your separation consciousness and you're deepening that connection with God, and you're realizing that truth within yourself, that you're one with God and you always have been, God is in love with you. God is in love with His children. And because you and God are one and the same, God's desires are your desires. So God's heart is not blocked. God is very aware that He's completely in love with all of His children. But our hearts, and because we've been in these illusions, we're clearing out the illusions to the truth, which is because we're one and the same with God, we are in love with God as well. So that's just, I thought that awareness was really cool, because so naturally as you move towards, or you you continue to move on your ascension path, and your ascension path is towards perfect union with God, which is the truth right now. We're just waking up to that. But as you do this, your twin flame's heart is also waking up to the fact that they are completely in love with you. And this is, I believe, this is where the magnetism comes, because your heart's unblocked to the truth, and your twin flame's heart is also unblocked to the truth. And this is also where your oneness is, like you're one with your twin flame. And I've been feeling this a lot too lately. Like, you know, Jeff and Shalia, my spiritual twin flame teachers, they've said before that when people come into harmonious union, a lot of times they'll like look at their twin flame and they'll be like, this feels completely natural, like you were actually here all along, like I feel you, like this has been the truth all along, I just couldn't see it, I didn't feel it. And so with myself, you know, my twin flame and I, we've not physically been in contact for a while, but as I'm waking up to this desire in my heart that I'm in love with God, like everything I do, I desire to do it with God, like it just brings me so much peace and happiness. But as I'm realizing this, I'm starting to feel those bits and pieces of, yeah, my twin flame's been here all along, in the complete oneness. And it's really amazing to feel that. And that's, I think too, like when you know, people say union is close. Well, union is always close because that's your truth. It's the truth right now. You know, like I said, you're waking up to that truth. It is here and now. You're in harmonious union with your twin flame right now. You just can't see it because you're looking through all the bullshit, if you will. And so we're clearing all of that out to realize our truth, and then you're going to find your twin flame is sitting right here in the physical with you, and it's going to feel completely natural and normal. And it's all of you, you know, it's all of your being, your masculine and your feminine perfect complements of one another will be all together in the physical. And so anyways, that was my awareness that I thought was really cool, and I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that I explained this well, and I hope that you resonate with it. And I would love to hear, like, if you have any comments or, you know, anything that you've experienced along on your journey, like, feel free to share that in the comments section below. I'm very passionate about this topic, and just, yeah, I'd be glad to hear, like, what you guys think about this and how it made you feel, and just share and connect with me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with more.